So one of the biggest models that underlies almost everything that I do in game is the value comfort model. We talked about this a bit in Game 101 in the sense that a girl is looking for value and comfort from a man, right? She wants a guy to be the genetically good specimen, the high value guy, all those kind of things. But she also wants the guy she can keep around because if the guy's too high value, that's actually scary for her. That's actually a risk because he has no reason to stick with her, right? Whereas the guy who will stick around on a weird kind of level, the fact that he will stick around almost conveys low value because why? If he has lots of options, why is he sticking around? So here's the weird paradox. Almost everything that builds value decreases comfort. Almost everything that builds comfort decreases value. So there's this kind of back and forth ratio, okay? Now, I will say, as an aside to that, there are a few types of communication that I know of that build value and comfort at the same time. And that's what makes them some of the best communication in game, okay? First thing that builds value and comfort at the same time is this. Storytelling. Okay, telling a story builds value because you're asserting your frame, you're leading, you're the center of the conversation, you're putting your ideas into the world. Okay, that's all very, very positive, right? Also, a lot of the stories, if you tell stories from the right frame, the details you have about yourself can indicate high value traits. You can drop little bits of value from your life through the story. Okay, so there are a lot of ways that storytelling can build value. The way that storytelling builds comfort is that you are opening up, right? You're letting the person get to know you, you're giving a glimpse inside of your world, right? Also, you're spending time with someone, which is one of the biggest indicators of, or biggest creators of comfort is just spending time, okay? So storytelling, if done right, builds value and comfort at the same time. And so storytelling is incredibly potent as a tool in game. Second thing that builds value and comfort at the same time is qualifying the girl. Qualifying the girl. This is where you get the girl to say reasons why you should like her or things that are cool about her, and then you can kind of accept or reject them. You should probably be accepting a few more than you reject because you're gradually building this sort of connection and this idea that you two are good together, okay? But qualifying her, it builds comfort in the sense that you are letting her win you over, letting her show why she's good for you, and you're building a connection with her. It builds value in the sense that you're the one doing the assessing. You're the one that she's working for. You're the one that's making the decision, either she's right for me or not, as opposed to her. So it's very much, we talked in Game 101 about the buyer-seller frame. It's very much in the buyer frame and putting her in the seller frame, okay? So it's high value in that sense. It's comfort in the sense of getting to know her and building a connection. So it's very valuable. The third thing that I know that builds value and comfort at the same time is this. Having sex with a girl, right? And you laugh, kind of, but that's the reason why one of the best ways to get a girlfriend is to have sex with her, right? A lot of guys are like, oh, I don't want to sleep with this one because she's different, she's the girlfriend, whatever. Have sex with her, right? It builds value and comfort. It makes the relationship better. Sex fundamentally does that, right? Obviously, it builds value because she's made a big commitment to you and because the orgasm or good feeling is a form of value. It builds comfort because there's that connection, etc. And especially if you do like sex and like talk afterwards or get to know her a little bit afterwards, that's massive comfort, okay? So these are things that build value and comfort at the same time. And actually, these are probably the three best things you can do in set at any time, right? Storytelling, absolutely powerful. Qualifying her, absolutely powerful. Sex, obviously, has an effect. So really do understand the value of those and understand that those are unique in terms of man-woman communication in the sense that almost everything else you do that builds value decreases comfort. Almost everything else you do that builds comfort decreases value, except for those, right? If anybody happens to know a fourth one, I'm all ears, but I have yet to have anybody else come up with another one yet, okay? So very, 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 very important, okay? So that's key right away. But from the value comfort model, in general, couple of other things to more deeply understand this model. The way I look at value and comfort is I think that every girl has a particular blueprint of what she's looking for. So every girl probably needs some level of value and comfort, but it's different. Okay, so a girl who is in Vegas partying in like very much of a hookup mode, I look at it sort of as like cups you need to fill up. So here's like the value cup and the comfort cup. So that girl who's in Vegas party mode, she needs a lot of value in her cup and almost no comfort to hook up for that night. That's like her ratio at that time, right? And if you start trying to get super comfortable and like form this like connection with this girl who's gonna be in town for one day and is in like party mode, that's like kind of violating her blueprint, violating what she's looking for, and she's not gonna respond very well to it, okay? Similarly, if you come in at a lower value, she might immediately reject you, okay? On the other hand, a girl who is in class with you or goes to work with you and knows you over a long period of time, she might have like a lot of comfort build up with you, and then she needs a decent amount of value, and she needs some kind of more equal ratio, right? A girl who is maybe like a virgin, she's barely ever had sex, and she feels like very, very scared about the whole thing. It's like a big step for her. That girl might be way up here on comfort and doesn't really even need that much value. She just wants to have like a good experience and not have it be terrible, right? So there's different ratios for different girls, and what you want to do is kind of hit that ratio, okay? Now, both of these build over time. So with any new girl, you kind of start at 0. You start with 0 value and 0 comfort because you barely know the girl. And that's actually going to come up later when I talk about social capital, which is another model. You start at 0. And so you're going to start building them up. And if you build them up in kind of roughly the right ratio, the girl will feel really good about it and kind of like stay around. So let's look at this girl that needs a lot of value and very little comfort. If you come in and at the start you build a bunch of comfort and almost no value, she's not going to be that into that interaction. But if you build a bunch of value and not that much comfort, she'll be kind of okay with it. So if you get the ratio kind of right as early as possible, she'll be much more willing to stay around long enough for you to fill the cup up to the appropriate amount. All right? And it's kind of, you can kind of look at it as like once the cup is full enough, you're good to go, and that's when she'll sleep with you or have a relationship with you or whatever. And the other thing that's important about value comfort is once you're at that appropriate level, there's no point in filling it further. Okay, so if you're talking with the virgin girl who needs a lot of comfort and not a ton of value, if you're already pretty high value, pumping more value isn't going to help, right? Getting this girl that doesn't need that much value, like pumping more value up here, isn't going to help at all. You've already filled the cup enough, you don't need to do any more. And in fact, building that value, because value tends to reduce comfort and comfort tends to reduce value, that's usually going to draw the comfort down, and that's actually going to be counterproductive. Okay, so don't think that you need to just be Mr. High Value the whole way and dickhead the girl all the way into bed, so to speak. It doesn't work like that. Once you're at an appropriate level, you don't have to have her like 10 out of 10 attracted to sleep with you. 7 or 8 out of 10 will work, and then just build the comfort, make the logistics work. That's all you need to do. Okay, so that's the value comfort model. Pretty simple model, but there's a lot of really profound ideas and understandings of game that come out of it. And those understandings are understanding the ratios you're filling it up to, understanding you don't need to overfill the cups, right? And then also understanding, I can't emphasize enough, storytelling, qualifying, sex. Those are the things that you can do that build both at once. So those are sort of like the master moves in game, right? In fact, one assignment I give guys sometimes is to do only storytelling and qualifying. Like try and game doing only storytelling and qualifying, don't even do any other gamey stuff. You take away some of your tools in your arsenal, but if you can learn to do that, you're learning a very fundamental and very powerful form of game. Okay. So that's the value comfort model.